Hi, I'm Roland. You can call me Rolly. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to take out a piece of drywall in a wall where there's either electrical problem behind or there could be a pipe that needs repairing. What you can use to cut the hole is either a drywall saw, or you could use a utility knife with a sharp blade. I like to use the drywall saw because I have more leverage than with a small handle like this. So the first thing we do, figure out where the problem is. Then if you want to, you can draw your lines so that you can cut out a pretty good square, and then just take your drywall knife, insert it, open up the wall with the drywall knife. Okay, we're almost finished with opening up the wall. Now what you might want to do before you even start this project, you want to make sure that you have the tools to work with. You need a saw or a razor knife. I like a 6-inch blade for putting the mud on. Also, you need drywall tape. And once we get this opened up, I'll show you how to mix the drywall mud for the consistency that you need. Okay, we've got it opened up, and what we want to do now that the repair is finished, we want to close this up. So what I've done is I have 2 pieces of wood. They're 1.5 inches wide. What we're going to do is we're going to attach one to the top, and we're going to attach one to the bottom. Now we have 5-inch drywall, so we want to use 1.5 inch screw so that it has enough to go through the drywall and also into the wood. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to attach our wood. Now when we attach our wood, we want to countersink these screws so that they will cover up and not be shown. Now this is such a small area, you don't need to put any more screws than 2 in order to put your drywall piece back in. But if it doesn't feel like it's holding once you start putting the drywall back on, then you can always put another screw in it. Now remember, this new wood that we put in here is acting just like our studs do, so that you have something to attach the drywall to. Now that we have the wood in place, we can take our drywall put it in there. And then we can countersink the screws so that you can mud over them and not even tell that there's been a patch. Basically, all we need is 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Now you don't want to countersink these screws too far. Because then you'll jeopardize the integrity of the piece of drywall. Basically what you want is this completely flush, which it is now. So the next thing that we do is we're going to use the tape to put over the cut area to hide that. And before we tape it up, we need to mix up some drywall mud. So here we have some drywall mud, and before we put the drywall mud into the tray, we want to wet the tray. So that the mud will come out easily. That it won't stick to it. Just go ahead and wet all the sides. Have water here so that the drywall mud can be mixed to consistency also. It's not going to take a whole lot of mud, so all you really need to do, you've got a wet tray in there, just taking the excess water that's in there will help the mud become pliable. Now we have the consistency of the drywall mud the way we want it. Now what we're going to do is apply some to the area that we are going to tape. Now you definitely want it wide enough for the tape on both sides. Otherwise your tape's not going to want to stay on very well. And don't worry about if it's not straight up and down. It won't hurt a thing. Main thing you want to concentrate on is just getting the patch done. Now a lot of people will want to fill those holes in where you cut it, but it's not necessary. That's what you want. You want enough mud on there now. Let's just take and put for the edges. Okay, now we have the taping done. We'll wait, let it dry, and then maybe we'll sand it a little bit, skim it again, or if there's a textured wall, you could just leave it like this, put the texture on, and then paint it.